Rise and shine. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am your brother Joe, and we are the way. And man, today has been very, very interesting. Some major tests. I mean, this whole honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. This whole year, for me, it seems like the spiritual warfare has been amped up, but it's been in a way for me to have discernment and awareness of the tactics. Like the warfare has never been that difficult. Like I've never been like, oh, I'm getting spiritually attacked. Woe is me. It's like, oh, I see what is happening, and now I know how to overcome this. I know how to maintain my peace. I know how to establish boundaries. I know how to discern and listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit to allow individuals in my life and not allow individuals in my life. And this earlier this week, it was on Friday night. I had an experience, and if you ever been attacked, spiritually attacked in your dreams, um, you'll understand. Sometimes it's like you know it's happening, but you can't control what's happening in your dream. And just this past weekend, I had somebody who has been identified in my life, um, that has been prone to to send things my way. Let's just say, and this individual popped up in my dream, and like I understood everything that was occurring in my dream, like their intention, why they were there, because they were really trying to steal my peace in the dream. They were really trying to get me to react to their actions, and give them a bit of my attention, of my energy, right? And in my dream, it was like I was hyper aware. I was discerning what was taking place, and I knew the tactics that they were using, and everything that they threw at me in the dream. I was like very stoic, very calm, very tranquil. My peace was there, and I was just kind of like, okay, well, do you need help? Like, do you need help with that? Like, it was just like super unfazed in the dream, and like I could see the expression on their face. Like they were so shocked that the witchcraft that they sent my way wasn't working. And I woke up from that dream feeling so energized, like so aware of the ability that I now have, the protection that's over me, while with using prayer, um, and just fortifying my spiritual life. Like it's gotten to the point now where it's like, that old saying, I am rubber and you are glue. Whatever witchcraft you sends to me bounces off of me and then gets stuck to you. Like that is where I'm at. It's not kind of where I'm at. And it's like the warfare that's been sent my way is they're getting a Uno reverse card, and it's going right back to them. And today I think I know I had one of the biggest tests in in recent times because there was a demonic manifestation. I'm working right now, and I'm doing like these checks, compliance checks, and I was at a gas station, parked, and I'm looking at my phone. I have my sunglasses on, right? So I'm just chilling there, just like this on my phone, looking. And out of the corner of my eye, something like I felt like something glaring at me. And so I like slightly turn my head and I look, and there's this I would say young kid, not young kid, but probably in his early 20s, and he's walking out of the convenience store, like the gas station convenience store, and he's flipping me off. And I looked, I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I like looked back at my phone, and then he becomes like super aggressive, and he's like, fudge you itch, like blah blah blah, like just going on. Like the demonic manifestation was like in full force, and immediately like I could feel the unction of the knowing of the Holy Spirit just being like, you know what this is, you know what is happening right now. And it's like, you know what that is. And I looked, and he's like just like, like a little chihuahua that's yapping, just barking, just curse words, and just, you could see the hate. And he's like, why are you staring at me? Why are you staring at me? You're this, you're that. And I'm just kind of like, I'm not even looking at you. But it's just like the way it occurred, the way the Holy Spirit showed me. He's like, okay, like, how are you gonna react? Because if I wasn't, I'm telling you, if this was 5 years ago and I wasn't where I'm at right now, I would probably be a little bit confrontational. I'd probably stand my ground. But now, knowing with wisdom, I'm like, I'm not trying to get in these situations, because the world is crazy and things are shifting. Things are really trying to throw you off your it's trying to throw you off the throne because you're standing close to God right now. And it was just like, wow, like if I would have confronted him, if I would have, got into a fight, things like that, the outcome would have been way worse. So this was a teaching, like, turn the other cheek. Like, don't let this minion, this peon, really steal that peace from you. And so I stood there, and he's just going off, blah blah blah. And so I was like, okay, just very, very chill. I finished logging my logs and collecting my data, whatever I had to do, and I start leaving, and he's still blah blah blah, you stare blah blah blah. And I laugh at him because I just, like, inside in the spirit, I'm like, I know what you are, and I'm laughing at you because you can't do anything. And so I end up leaving, and this guy, like, literally starts following me, like aggro driving, and I'm just chilling, not stressed, not like no adrenaline going, just like, okay, we're gonna let this fly, this little gnat buzz around, and eventually. So, but he's like bad, like to the point where I wish I really should have recorded it, and I was about to start recording because it was getting to that point where, like, okay, I need to start to drive to the police station, because you don't know, you really don't know with how people are operating in this time, what they're carrying, what they have, what they're willing to do. And so after he was following me for probably like 3 or 5 minutes, I ended up, turning I put in the directions for my phone to go to the police station because I was like, I ain't gonna deal with this. Like, let them handle it. And if I go there, he's gonna leave anyway. Like, that's my thought process, right? And so I turn, he's still following me, and then he like pulls up to the side and he's like, well, you want to do something, blah blah blah, for nothing. And then he leaves. And I was like, wow. Like, I knew the whole time what that was, why it was there, and what it came to do. It came to kill, steal, and destroy my peace. And this is like the moral of the story right now. We're gonna experience heightened warfare, but these warfare are also tests, because where you are in your life, people are going to try to come in and influence and just like insert themselves into your life when you've let go of certain situations, you've made peace with them, and you're just maintaining your peace, right? And you're living your life according to the guidance of the Holy Spirit, and that's what you're doing. You're not causing anybody harm. You're being called to do what God is leading you to do, and you might have been in a season of solitude because you're really growing closer. And so these things will occur, not so you are fearful, but to show you to stand firm and grounded in your power and your authority, not giving in to these schemes and tactics. And you don't owe anyone anything. You know, I didn't have to acknowledge that guy at all, and I didn't acknowledge that guy. I laughed at him, and I said, "You have a good day." Like, you just let these things be, and they will naturally run their course and turn away. Like, they know, like, they have no power or influence over you the moment that you give them your attention, your reaction, your response. Then that's when you give them the inch and they start to take a mile. So just know, like, right now, especially after everything that we've been seeing taking place, like, it's gonna be very trying, and God is calling you guys to maintain your peace. Don't let anyone steal that or take that away. You've gotten to a point where you see the influence of the world and how it operates, and now you're moving accordingly because you're being called into higher levels, and as you're being elevated, as you're being ushered in to this next phase, like, they know that, and that's why the uptick has been occurring, because what you're being called to do is of a high calling, right? So of course they don't want you to walk in your blessings, but you're already walking in your blessings. You already know what you've been called to do. So the shift has occurred, and now you've passed these tests, and now you're knowing who is dwelling within you, because he who is greater than the world is dwelling within you. And since he is for you, nothing could be against you. No weapon, nothing. So as you embody that, as you know it, as you carry it, those things are going to come to try to, like, do you really believe that? Are you really solid in who you are? And so you have to be ready. You have to stand firm in these situations. Be safe, be smart, do the right things. Don't put yourself in situations where you're going to end up in scenarios like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out to the bar and surround myself with this activity, because people right now, they're open vessels to be used by the enemy. And if you've been set apart, if you've gone through these trials and tests, and you've been refined, and you've been reformed and molded and shaped, like, they could see it. They could see it in the spiritual realm, and people could feel it. So like, it's happening. So prepare yourself, brace yourself, and just be strong in who you are, because it's God that's fighting on your behalf. So when you know this, you're walking in your royalty era. Like, you are a soldier for Christ. You are a spiritual warrior, and so you got to be prepared for the battle, and you got to get battle tested. And sometimes you got to test that armor. But like, you're prestigiously equipped with something that cannot even be explained. But you are a spiritual force to be reckoned with. And as you go out, your light is going to shine. It's going to irritate certain things, but you're going to be a beacon of a beacon of hope, and you're going to embody Christ's love, and you're just going to do things that are greater. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys, because it just happened. Like, I just, like, it was in a matter of a couple hours ago, and I was like, okay, this is interesting, but it's just like, they'll send their little schemes and tactics out in the dreams. These things will happen, but just when when you're wise and you carry the understanding, then you could better equip yourself for these interactions, these situations. Just establish healthy boundaries. As long as you set your boundaries and make them known, you don't have anything to worry about. Like, you don't owe anything to anybody. You know who you are. You walk authentically, and your peace, man, the peace that surpasses all understanding, is a nice thing to have. Really, it is. And it's your inheritance, and like, you just know. So continue to be bold, continue to be courageous in your walk, and know, as things progress, as it gets a little bit darker in our time, in our world, you've been made and prepared for this. The enemy is losing grips. We're in dark times, but this is why you are here. This is why you've been prepared, because just a little light, just a little love, just a little hope could do so much when you are the grounding for so many people. And just continue to be that beacon, continue to spread God's grace and His mercy and His love and His understanding, and you're gonna know. You are definitely gonna know. You already know. So with that being said, just know that I love you with the love of Christ. May peace be upon you. I don't know, like, I'm gonna be working. I'm on the road for the next few days, so it's gonna be interesting to see how I'm able to interact. But right now, God is calling me to post as I'm called. The Holy Spirit is like, rest or post, so it's not like I'm obligated to share every day, but when I am sharing, it's because it's coming from a place of purity and resonance and truth. So yeah, with that being said, take care, much love. We will definitely talk soon.